All right, guys. Welcome to the Mobility Mindset Podcast. We're here for a special one this week. We're going to be talking about Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month, and we got some special guests in the office with us today. I guess not the office; they're across the country, but I'm in the office, so we'll consider that close enough. Anyway, so we've got the Mertens family. They're rock stars in the Trexo world. We've got Carol, Alex, and Katie.
Thank you, Mark. We're really thrilled and delighted to be part of this podcast. Thank you so much for inviting us. I'm Carol Mertens, and as Mark said, these are my two daughters. There are actually three girls. We were lucky enough to have triplet girls in 1999, and now these girls are all grown up. Our other daughter lives in New Zealand. So I'll just tell a little bit about our story. We found out that we were having triplets. It was very surprising, and we were kind of over the moon, but not really knowing what to expect with three babies. And it was all great. And then the day they arrived, it was all crazy. The girls had a fairly normal, natural C-section birth, and all went well until they found out that baby C was struggling a bit. So they decided that she needed a little bit of medical intervention, and that seemed to help a little bit. But then all of a sudden things crashed, and they realized that she'd had lack of oxygen in utero. She had a seizure at birth, and that's when we discovered about as things went along that she wasn't necessarily making the milestones that the other two girls were doing. So at about a year or so, baby C got diagnosed with cerebral palsy and epilepsy, and that was the start of our journey. We went through all different types of treatments in the medical system. We tried everything humanly possible to try and help. Stretching, strengthening, of course, surgeries, many surgeries. And that was just part of our journey that most families with a child with a disability goes on through the medical system. And that's what happened. The girls continued along. We decided to homeschool them before homeschooling was even popular, and everyone thought we were crazy, but it was kind of a fun journey. We did lots of fun things with young triplet girls, and we took them skiing and horseback riding and swimming and every type of activity possible, and did work out really, really well. The girls went to university, and they'll tell you a little bit about their journey. And I got actively involved in a nonprofit organization called CP Kids and Families, Cerebral Palsy Kids and Families. And I was on the board and was the president of the organization. And then after my term was fulfilled, they asked me to join the company, and I became the adapted bike manager, where I fit kids onto adapted bikes. And I'm still doing that. I retired for a little bit, but they've asked me to come back this spring, and I'm forward to fitting probably about 200 kids onto specially modified adapted bikes through this amazing, one-of-a-kind program that's unique to North America. So I'm looking forward to my spring. But I will let these gals tell you a little bit more about themselves. Katie is baby A, firstborn, and by 1 minute, middle triplet is Sam, born by another minute later, and then Alex is baby C, the one that will share her story as well. So that's a little bit about us.
That's fantastic. Thanks so much. Katie, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
For sure, yeah. So that was a great introduction, Mom. Thank you. I'm Katie. I'm the oldest triplet by 1 minute, but that matters to me. Maybe it's just because I am the oldest, but that was a big deal growing up. And I had the pleasure, I like to say that I had the pleasure of growing up with Alex. And lots of who I am today and things that I've been involved in have been because of Alex and who she is and the community we've been a part of because of her journey. And that's been super exciting. So I was heavily involved as well in CP Kids and Families, the organization my mom has done work for. I was their summer camp director for a few years when I was doing my undergrad at Mount Royal University. So I was able to lead teams and just have a really fun experience with kids with CP at those camps. So taught adapted dance for a while, and volunteered with that same organization as well. And Alex was in those classes. So that was a really fun experience as well. I went to Mount Royal University, where I did a business degree. And a fun little tidbit of that is that while I was in that program, I had the opportunity to write a research paper, and I actually chose Trexo robotics as my case study for that paper. I think in about grade 10, I was really excited by this idea of exoskeletons and robotic walkers and all of that. So in university, when I had this opportunity, I was so excited. And yeah, it was all about the innovation framework and kind of ideas around startup companies. And I needed a case study company for an example. So I chose Trexo, and it was fantastic just to hear a little bit more about their story and how the company came to be. And I remember talking to Manmeet, actually interviewing him and talking about Alex and saying, oh, I don't know if Alex will ever be able to use a Trexo because the devices, from what I understand from the research I've done on the website, are more for kids, and Alex is not a kid anymore. So I'm not really sure. And he said, well, maybe there'll be an opportunity. And I said, oh, okay. Not really thinking much of it at the time. It was then COVID, everything kind of shut down. So I graduated, moved on, and then Alex got involved with Trexo in a completely unrelated way. But it was really cool that we both had separate engagements with the organization and the fantastic work that they're doing. And then since Alex has been more involved in Trexo, I've had the opportunity to attend events with her, and that's been super fantastic and super exciting as well. That's a little bit about me. I guess I can share where I am now. I now work for Alberta Innovates as a business partner on their health innovation team, and we enable digital health technologies and robotic technologies and things like that in the province of Alberta. And hopefully one day to get more Trexos here would be fantastic. So yeah, it's a little bit about me.
Thank you. Awesome. Yeah. So just in case you guys haven't figured this out already, this is the family that are double agents. They're both on the inside of Trexo as well as users, but I will let Alex kind of talk about that because she's our champ. And anyway, Alex, have at it.
Hi, my name is Alex, and I'm the youngest triplet, and I have cerebral palsy
Surgery.
and I've had many surgeries, too many to count.
Do you always want to walk?
But I always wanted to walk, but I never, I could walk in a walker, but I could never walk independently without assistance or a manual walker.
How many steps would you walk in a manual walker?
About 30 steps in a manual walker.
Good.
Yeah, I go to school at MRU, the same school that Katie and my other sister graduated from.
What are you studying?
And I'm studying kinesiology through MRU. Also, they call it physical literacy there.
How did you become interested in all of this? How did it all start way back when? Were you asked to be involved with something?
I was asked to be involved in a study through the Children's Hospital. And yeah, then my Trexo journey just started, and it turned out to be a great, successful journey, and I have my own Trexo as a result of it.
So how many steps? Do you remember how many steps you did during the trial? It was supposed to be a 3-month trial.
No.
Do you remember how many you did? 100,000.
I did 100,000 when I was in the Trexo trial at the Children's Hospital. The Trexo has helped me in so many ways.
Tell us how the Trexo has helped you. What did you notice the very, very first day? What did you notice changed?
I realized that I noticed that my chronic knee pain I used to have was completely gone.
And what else did you notice with the walking in the Trexo during the study?
And I realized that my my vertigo was less. I used to get vertigo 4 times a year, and now I don't have it just because of using the device.
So how about your sleeping?
And my sleeping has gotten better too.
And then what else did the Trexo inspire you to want to do? That's when you started to think about going to university.
The Trexo actually inspired me to start taking kinese. And yeah, I was very interested in how the human body moved and what the human body was all about.
For that, what did you think that you wanted to move forward and do? You decided to do something else. Music became very interesting to you.
Oh, yes, I got very interested in music, and well, I've always been really interested in music, but I recently started writing my own. I recently started writing a song about how the Trexo changed my life and my walking journey with the Trexo. And it actually, the music video actually came out last Friday, and it's just been really exciting to combine my love with walking in the Trexo and my love of sharing my story with music.
Called?
It's called I Wanted to Walk, so it basically tells from when I was a little kid to now and what my walking journey was.
And you said that you were walking about 40 steps in your manual walker. How many steps can you walk in your Trexo when you're taking big walks outside?
I take when I do big walks outside, I can take 2,000 steps to 4,000 steps at a time.
Sounds good. How many steps have you taken on your personal Trexo? Do you remember how many steps you've been taking?
I've been taking 500,000 steps on my Trexo.
So you've done 500,000 steps.
And I've done 500,000 steps. And it's taken me about 3 years?
No, 2 years.
2 years to do that. And my goal is at the 1 million.
1 million personal
steps.
Yeah.
Personally.
That's awesome.
Now,
you have a favorite place to walk?
I do. It's my favorite place is the mall, because people can see that I can actually walk because I don't take my wheelchair in the mall, and people look at me differently versus when I take my wheelchair versus the Trexo, because they don't see my wheelchair. They only see me walking around. So people will actually come up and chat with me about the device, or just come up and chat with me about, like, oh, you're doing so great, keep going. And it's just really good to feel like a normal person that can walk just with the help of a device.
Did you document your journey?
I documented my journey with Trexo from start to now on my social media.
What's your social media?
And my social media handles are the Alex Scoop, and I have YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
And if they want to read about your blogs, where would they go?
And I have a website that's also thealexscoop.com. That you can read about my blogs and all the different stuff I do.
Don't worry, guys. We'll post links to all of this stuff in the background so you can easily access it.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
What's your motto?
My motto is, well, I kind of have two mottos, but my mottos are, I can do anything even though I'm in a wheelchair. And then another motto of mine is, I can do it.
So what do you want people to know? They're thinking about someone with a disability. What do you want people to know?
I want people to know that you don't need to underestimate people with disabilities. They can do whatever the rest of the world does, they can do in their own unique way. And I do that as well.
Things that you do, like other sports? What kind of other sports and things do you do?
I do dance. I do horseback riding, swimming,
Biking.
I've even gone adapted water skiing, which was pretty cool. And
What about snow skiing?
I've done skiing, and I've gone skating, and I've done sledding.
And what about sports? Have you done any sports like games and things like that? Like in different devices?
I've also played power chair hockey, and I've also done volt hockey, which is similar to power hockey, but you're in like a wooden go-kart, I guess you would call it.
Yep.
And I've done power chair soccer as well.
What's your very favorite activity to do?
My very favorite activity is to walk in my Trexo.
You really love that, don't you?
I really love it because it has helped me in so many ways, and I just want to keep what it's done I just want to keep up what it's done, and I don't want to lose all those gains that I've made with it. So the Trexo is very motivating for me to actually like get up and move. And
You feel like you're more physically fit because of using the Trexo?
I feel like I'm more physically fit, and I feel like I'm more like able to do things that maybe would be a little harder for me to do if I didn't have a device like the Trexo.
That's awesome, Alex. Maybe we should see if Sarah and Mark have a few more questions too.
I gotta say, you're inspiring on a whole bunch of different levels. And to be perfectly honest with you, I'm really happy that I got to be part of your journey, because I've been kind of helping you guys along for a couple of years, not doing a whole heck of a lot, just kind of rallying behind you and doing a little bit of cheerleading, but it's been really nice to be a part of. I got to say, thank you. So
It's been awesome having Mark and everybody at Trexo really supporting us, from having to replace knees kind of virtually across the country and stuff like that. It's been awesome. So thank you too for everything you've done for our family.
Honestly, it's been our pleasure 100 times over. You guys are the best. Alex, question for you. So you were saying that you like to go walking around in the malls, and it doesn't shock me that a girl your age likes to go walking around in the malls. But what I do want to kind of focus in on here is you were saying that you get to have social interactions in a way that you didn't before. What's the difference?
The difference is that I can be at the same level, so like eye level with people, and I think as soon as they see a wheelchair, people automatically start assuming it. So it just takes that level of maybe assumption away, and it just makes me see the world instead of the sitting way, I can see it in a standing way as well.
That's awesome. So do you feel like people treat you differently that you're in that position?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I'm very happy to hear that things are going in that direction.
One of the things which is really interesting and unfortunate is that people underestimate people in wheelchairs. And it's just the way our world is for whatever reason, which is too bad. And once people realize that Alex is very capable, then there's no problem with that communication and that type of thing. but there is a little bit of a barrier for people in wheelchairs.
Definitely seen it too with some of my friends and whatnot. I'm always eager to share Alex's story and journey, mostly because the friends that I've had may not have had that experience of somebody like growing up or living with somebody who has a disability. So just kind of sharing what is possible is always really fun to do, just to share with others that, although that they may do activities differently or access the world a little bit differently than I would or they would, they're still very much active in their community and living their life to the fullest.
I couldn't agree more. It's really fun to challenge people's preconceived ideas that are maybe not correct, so to speak.
And
Awesome.
I think that's the feedback that Alex gets when she's out walking, which is great.
Yes.
Do you tell Mark and Sarah what else recently happened that that your work at the
Oh yeah,
super.
I also have a little bit of a research assistant position at the Pony Lab in the Children's Hospital.
What does PONY stand for? Do you know?
Yeah. Pony stands for Pediatric Onset of Neuromotor Impairments.
And so what does the Pony Lab study?
They study different robotic walking and how muscles and spasticity they're mainly or majorly into studying about robotic walking and all different kinds of studies to help children improve their quality of life.
It's amazing that you get to not only kind of benefit from it, but you get to give back. And I don't know, I can relate to that in a little bit because it's nice to be able to give back to the community that you're from. But yeah, I don't know, you are definitely our champ, secret agent, double spy person who's on the inside and on the outside in everything. And we thank you dearly for it because we need somebody on the inside.
I love it.
Pony Lab has really been an awesome opportunity for Alex to bring that full circle too for families and for parents who maybe are trying the Trexo device or other types of devices they have at the lab for the first time. She's kind of the walking, living, breathing, talking use case, which is really awesome. She can share her experience, how that first session maybe made her feel, some of the challenges and things she'd had to overcome. So that's been a really, really awesome opportunity for Alex that way.
Yeah, so personally, I've been utilizing Alex for my own benefit for a couple of years now too, because we don't really get that many kids in Trexos who are able to verbalize their experience in a way that we needed to know. And I really kind of leaned on Alex over the last couple of years to really understand that experience. My son uses one of these things, and it's hard to get inside the head of somebody else to feel what it's like. Like, I've been in one of these myself, but not the same. So thank you, Alex, for letting me kind of pick your brain.
No problem. Anytime.
I know. You've been awesome.
What does it feel like when you're actually in the Trexo robotic walker? What does it feel like? How does the robot work with your body?
The robot, and you can correct me if I get some of this wrong, but the robot essentially does 50-50. So I do some and the robot does some. And how it makes me feel is the first time I stepped into a Trexo, it felt extremely weird because I've never been in a device that your legs are being moved for you. And it just felt interesting. And I just loved it from the minute I stepped in the Trexo.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it's a great device in the way that we can kind of turn up and down the strength depending on what that individual needs. And like Alex was saying, she can do 50% of the work, so we can taper back and let her kind of go. Some of the kids aren't able to do that, and you have to turn the levels up. But because the thing's so adjustable, we can really fit it to whoever needs it and just kind of dial it back just enough that they can still do the effort.
You want to tell them about the group that you started so that you have a bunch of walkers with you?
Yeah, I started a Trexo walking group in Calgary. And we're called the Trexo Trekkers, and we walk around malls and we walk around Fish Creek Park here in Calgary. So it just gives us a really a community base to get together and just walk.
We're actually trying to emulate that a little bit. We do Trexo walking club. So once in a while, like probably once every month and a half or so, we try and get a couple of kids together from the GTA and do the same type of thing. But it is really awesome to be able to get together with a group of people that are in kind of the same situation and just go and experience. And it's fun for the people that are in it, but it's really fun for people that are watching it and kind of blown away at what's going on, because people see it and they think it's so foreign and it's so weird and so different. But at the same time, the more we normalize it, the easier it gets and the less staring eyes kind of happen, and the more positive conversations happen, like the ones that Alex was talking about, where people come up and go, "It's just the greatest thing I've ever seen." Yeah, it's really we're again piggybacking on what you started, and we're trying to run with it as well.
I think it's also a really fun opportunity for siblings to see kind of not only their own sibling who maybe uses a Trexo or another type of mobility device, but also just to see other kids as well and connect with other siblings and just start to build that type of community. I think that when you have a child with cerebral palsy or a disability, or that's part of the family, building community is so important. And I think that thus with all of our engagement with CP Kids and Families and other organizations in Alberta and Trexo, that's just something that we've been able to build up even more. But I think that's a real big part of it.
Very, very nicely said. Well, so you mentioned cerebral palsy, and I haven't even brought it up. This is Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month. Did you guys want to mention anything?
I don't know. I just was going to say that with Alex's walking group, we do have other kids that come out in regular walkers, or else they're on their bikes, their adapted bikes that they've most likely received on loan from CP Kids and Families through their adapted bike program. So we have a whole menagerie of people that come out for the walking groups, which is amazing. Just connect with Alex through Instagram on the Alex Scoop Instagram. So that's how people have been getting a hold of us and communicating with us.
And even like people, like kids in just regular wheelchairs, power chairs,
Yeah,
they also come out. And I opened it up, even though we are called the Trexo Trekkers, I opened it up to all disabilities, because all disabilities should have people to communicate with and connect with, right? So it's just been really good so that other people with any kind of impairment, no matter if they use a walker, wheelchair, canes, can just come out and connect with me and the other members of it.
and I
That's
think it's
awesome.
been fun for the parents to be able to all of a sudden see an instant group of friends and an instant group of similar struggles and similar challenges. So it's been really good as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's important. Like Katie said, I think it struck a chord because I think a lot of, parents try to network, but we don't necessarily talk about the siblings. And I think it's important that siblings get an opportunity to chat with other siblings that don't get to talk, to be able to be relatable, because you don't have an opportunity to talk to other people, because your friends don't. And especially if you're a teen, it's already an awkward time as it is. So it's good for you to have an opportunity to talk to other people that can relate just as much as you. So I'm glad that that's an open conversation too, because everyone needs it, especially during those years. It's crazy as it is. I don't envy those teen years at all. We'll
For
pass
sure.
those on.
And I think that when I was a teenager too, what really, really helped was just being more involved. So that's when I would volunteer a lot with there's a dance studio here in Calgary called Bloom Wellness Collective, and I would go volunteer in their programs and meet other siblings, and just meet other people who are really interested in this group as well. So it was awesome to build that community. And I know at CP Kids and Families, they have a Christmas party every year, a family Christmas party. And that's when all the families come together. And then that's when I started to build relationships with siblings as well in that community. And that was, like you said, just super awesome to be able to relate to somebody else who's going through a very similar experience. It's also interesting just to see how involved different siblings are. There are some that are super involved. There are some that are less involved. But at the end of the day, they still love their sibling who has cerebral palsy. And it's just fun to be in that environment with them. Great point, Sarah.
Yeah. And I was just going to give you kudos because I can only sit back and think, you're going to have, your own siblings, disabilities or not, you rival, you don't want to talk to one another. Everyone gets embarrassed, and let's be honest, we'll be embarrassed of our siblings or not. And it's a tough situation sometimes, and they'll, we'll talk about those things that we don't want to talk about, and then like, is that your sibling? And you want to stick up for your sibling. So I give you kudos for being involved, for being supportive of Alex, and just getting right on in there because unfortunately, there might be siblings out there that won't, and because it's just it's not always common, or it's just a struggle. So Alex needs support. Every kid needs support, siblings and friends. So kudos to you and your other sister as well. So, and Carol,
thank you. Yeah,
kicking butt as a mom too. I mean, parents, seriously.
I think we should, definitely give our other sister, Sam, a shout out. She's also very involved in Alex's life, even from New Zealand, always making a point to connect, cheer Alex on, when she comes back and visits, super involved in her life as well. So definitely.
Kudos to Sam. I know you're watching.
Kudos to Sam. Yeah. So
awesome.
I just really want to thank Katie and Sam for all their support through my journey. And they've always been there for the ups and the downs of it, which I really want to just thank you for your support.
Oh, thanks, Al. That's really nice of you to say. It's been an honor to be a part of your journey too. We really love it, and we love you. So,
and when I was mentioning that we were homeschooling, when homeschooling wasn't even a thing, Sam and Katie would often be doing their math homework or their language arts or something in the hospital while Alex was there getting a treatment or something. And they've been great superstars along the journey. So yeah,
that's fabulous.
It's nice. I think with triplets, it is a different bond as well than other siblings, sort of, and there is an immediate closeness. And it's been really awesome that the girls have remained close even to this day. So it's been great.
That's
we have
awesome.
had our fair share of, I'm not talking to you today, but yes, we are close.
Rightfully
close,
so. Rightfully so.
Others.
And girls, let's add girls onto it too. So
oh yeah,
that's left unsaid for those that have all sisters, all girls in the house.
Our dad has been very, very patient too with all of us. So he's fantastic. Yeah, he's not on the call today, but yeah, he's also very patient with us, and he's become an expert in Trexo mechanics, which is really fun to see.
Well, we've taken them apart and put them back together. He is very good with his hands. Absolutely.
Well, I'm noticing the time and I'm getting the elbow right now. So with that, Alex, Carol, Katie, is there anything that you would like to share on our last thoughts before we end the show?
Maybe I'll just quickly share and then hand it over to my mom and Alex to finish it off. I think, Mark, you mentioned that this is going out because it's CP Awareness Month. And I just would want to encourage people that are listening to really be able to share their story. If they have cerebral palsy, if they know somebody who has cerebral palsy, just to share the possibility of what they can do. Like Alex said, her motto is, I can do it. I guarantee that's a huge motto for lots of those other kids and families as well in this community. So just increase the ability to share and be open. People love to hear the story. So,
and feel free to share with whoever's listening to watch my journey. And I just really want to thank you guys for all your support and giving me these opportunities so I can share my journey with the Trexo and my journey about cerebral palsy.
Hey, thank you. Because at the end of the day, it's not about a bucket of bolts. It's about the stories that can be made from it. And at the end of the day, you're the one that's telling the story. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.